Rio Grande. One of the longest rivers in the United States makes its way through the middle Rio Grande Valley and the city of Albuquerque on its long journey to the Gulf of Mexico. A bosque, Spanish for forest, grows along the floodplain on either side of the river. The bosque ecosystem is unique in this high desert environment. One of the best places to learn about the Rio Grande and its bosque is the Rio Grande Nature Center State Park. The park is a wildlife preserve located at the west end of Candelaria Road past Rio Grande Boulevard. Most of the park is a wildlife habitat. The rest of the park contains gardens, wildlife viewing areas, an education building. A unique feature of the park is the visitor center, designed by world-renowned Albuquerque architect Antoine Predock. The building appears like a giant berm, blending into the wooded environment. An 8-foot diameter culvert forms a tunnel leading up to the visitor center. The center functions like an observation blind, where visitors can observe wildlife in the constructed wetland. Here, too, visitors can gather information on the bosque and the Rio Grande through a library, exhibits, and park staff. Just outside the west door of the visitor center is a viewing area of the observation pond. The Candelaria Wetlands overlook at the northeast end of the parking lot gives observers a good look at the wetlands, a pond, and the distant sandias. South of the visitor center, a 1.5-acre native plants garden features bird feeding stations, native vegetation, shaded benches, and hundreds of labeled plants. In the garden, native plants grow to provide a habitat for native wildlife. And of course, we learn and enjoy. The Rio Grande Nature Center State Park charges $3 per vehicle. Annual passes are available. The park is open every day except Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. Bicycles and dogs are not allowed in the park, except on the gravel parking lot. Dogs must be on a leash. But this is a good place to park even if you're on a bicycle or with your dog. Enter the Bosque Trail system and the Paseo del Bosque Trail at the end of Candelaria, just south of the park entrance. And now we venture into this forest of Rio Grande cottonwoods and the Rio Grande. The dominant tree of the bosque is the Rio Grande cottonwood. Tall, twisted trunks and branches create a shaded environment for other plants and animals to flourish. Historically, the Rio Grande Bosque flooded seasonally. It was an ecological system of wetlands, woodlands, sandbars, and lakes. The seeds attached to the cotton-like tufts are blown and carried by the wind in early summer. The flooding germinated the seeds released by the cottonwoods. This valley also supported the ancestors of today's Pueblo peoples. When the Spaniards arrived in 1540, they saw settlements thriving along the Grand River. They saw the people grew crops, hunted and gathered from the environment, and lived in small villages that would be later called pueblos, Spanish for town. The river would be changed to accommodate the growing human population. Flood control became important. Levees were built to control the river, and jetty jacks installed to control debris. The floodplain no longer floods, which has changed the environment of the bosque. The old cottonwoods, which lived between 75 and 100 years old, are nearing the end of their life cycle, and not many saplings are growing to take the place of the elder trees. Efforts are being made to restore natural habitats, and those efforts can be witnessed throughout the bosque. Today, the people of Albuquerque can enjoy the river and forest. It's part of the Rio Grande Valley State Park that extends from Sandia Pueblo in the north, south to Isleta Pueblo. The park is co-managed by the Open Space Division and the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District. Trails throughout the bosque trail system offer a good look into what the bosque offers to the natural world and the human spirit. The trails run through dense forest and brush, open meadows, and to the river's edge. The bosque creates a shady habitat for a variety of wildlife like coyotes, porcupines, beaver, numerous bird species, and reptiles. The Paseo del Bosque Trail, Albuquerque's premier 16-mile multi-use trail, traverses the east side of the Rio Grande from Alameda Boulevard in the north to Rio Bravo in the south. The Bosque Trail system can be accessed from anywhere along the Paseo del Bosque Trail. Remember to practice courtesy and caution on the trail. The trails are great for walking dogs too, but they must be leashed at all times. Many trailheads have pet waste bag dispensers, so remember to pick up after your pup. To access the Paseo del Bosque Trail and the Bosque Trail system, there are several locations. At Alameda Boulevard, west of Rio Grande Boulevard, open space offers ample parking for vehicles and horse trailers. Here are also restrooms. Visitors can enjoy viewing ducks and geese at the Alameda Wetland, a constructed wetland that replicates the wetlands that once occupied the Rio Grande floodplain. Other access locations include Shining River open space off Rio Grande Boulevard near Paseo del Norte, the Pueblo Montano picnic area and trailhead on the west side of the river off Montano Road east of Coors Boulevard. What's unique about this site are the sculptures carved in tree stumps left standing after wildfires in 2003. The sculptures were created by local artist and firefighter Joseph Mark Chavez. Other access points include Campbell Road off of Rio Grande Boulevard, Marcus Street near the National Hispanic Cultural Center, and Rio Bravo Boulevard in the South Valley. From the Rio Grande Nature Center State Park, the trail heads west out of the park. The trail connects to the Paseo del Bosque Trail. Crossing the trail, we enter the Bosque Trail system. There are several trail choices. I choose the River Loop Trail. The trail heads west over a bridge that crosses the Silvery Minnow Channel. In early spring, water from the Rio Grande flows through here. The endangered fish needs these channels of slow-moving water for the minnow to feed and reproduce. Moving along the trail takes us through the cottonwood forest and to the river. The trail follows the river through forest and brush. Fallen trees with chewed trunks indicate beavers have been working here. The trail eventually meets the Paseo del Bosque Trail and back to the Rio Grande Nature Center. Learn about the river and its forest. Then venture into the bosque. Be safe and happy hiking. For more information on Albuquerque Open Space, go to the Open Space website